Hey everybody, well, you asked and you shall receive. Last year you guys asked for a video explaining the Keaton Invitational Tournament, and well, Brian and I have no life, so here we go. Actually, the Keaton Invitational Tournament is kind of a big deal to us. We've done several tournaments, and none of them really cut the mustard. I mean, they weren't anything spectacular. And a few years ago, Brian, Aaron, and I sat down and were like, you know what, let's try a tournament one more time. Because we got frustrated. A lot of tournaments we did, it just wound up with a lot of ties and nothing really to say about it except, oh, I won a tournament. And that's really it. That's all the bragging rights you had. So we sat down, we did a new point system. We're like, well, let's do a new tournament system. And we did. And we had recently lost a best friend, Kenny Keaton, and he also helped found Tim Gown. So we're like, well, let's name it the Keaton Invitational. And this tournament is unlike any other we've had, and you probably won't find a tournament like it anywhere else. So
it doesn't even compare to the NCAA basketball tournament or any tournament in the world. As a matter of fact, it's a really awesome tournament, and this is actually our fourth Keaton Invitational tournament coming up this year, and we're very excited about it. And, you know, we've had a lot of complications, like you said, with the other tournaments with ties. We haven't had really too many. We've had some ties. We haven't had any complications with it because we've been able to break that. We'll talk about that in just a second. But it's really been a lot of fun, and we've enjoyed it, and we're going to continue this tradition hopefully for a very long time.
Exactly. So basically, the basics here is it's a 4-round tournament. And to kick it off, we're going to have Brian tell you about the seeding and round one of the tournament. Brian, kick it off.
All right. Well, let's talk about the seeding here of the Keaton Invitational Tournament. How we do it is we do the first 4 pay-per-views of the year, and whoever has the most points going into SummerSlam is seeded first, and then so on down the line until, you know, how many ever seeds we have, 12 or 13, and it goes down like that. And also, let's see, like I said, there's 4 rounds, and as far as, let's see, I'm trying to get my bases here. For tiebreakers for seeding, how we do it is, we've got a strict method that we go by. So let's say me and Adam here are tied heading into SummerSlam with 85 points. First of all, we go to head-to-head in the first 4 pay-per-views. So if he has 3 wins, I have 1 win head-to-head, then he gets a higher seed than I do. However, if it's 2-2, then we have to go to something else. And what we do there is we check this out.
Got our notes. Hang on.
Yeah, handy-dandy notes. In the event that we are tied, whoever has won the most matches overall is the higher seed. So if Adam's won, you know, 30 matches and I won 28, then he would get the higher seed. However, if we were tied then, we would go on to one final thing, and that is see who has the higher points at the previous pay-per-view. Whoever has the higher points between the two of us gets the higher seed going into round 1 of the Keaton Invitational Tournament.
Exactly. And before we go on to round 1, there's something, and this is my fault, I failed to say this. Something important about a Keaton Invitational Tournament is, as long as we have 16 people and under, every person will be in the tournament every year. As long as there's under 16. Beyond that, we will figure it out. But so far we've had under 16. But please, round 1.
Back to round 1,
or whatever you were talking about. I interrupted you.
That's okay. Well, we were basically talking about, you know, the seeding and how we seed and stuff for going into round 1. And I think we can go ahead and go to round 2 now. I don't think there's anything else to really say about round 1. We do need to say this. There are 3 pay-per-views that consist of round 1, and you have to help me a little bit. We got SummerSlam.
Well, the pay-per-views are changing every year because of
the names and stuff.
So typically, SummerSlam is in round 1.
Right.
Typically, it kicks it off.
We always start at SummerSlam.
Yeah, it typically kicks it off unless they switch the dates around, but that's typically when round 1 starts.
Right. Yeah, the 3 pay-per-views for round 1. That way, if you have a bad pay-per-view, you have a chance to redeem yourself in the other 2 pay-per-views in the first round. And basically, whoever has the most points will move on to round 2. If there's a tiebreaker, how we have it set up is after the 3 pay-per-views, we typically have 1 pay-per-view to break any ties. And
but WWE has been playing games with us, and so some rounds have lost that ability to break ties. And again, we'll probably go to the tiebreakers from seeding to use this for that as well. I think is what we discussed.
Right.
But something, yeah. Anything else on round 1?
I think that's pretty much it. We'll get into the buys here in just a second.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much it in round 1. Whoever has the most points after 3 pay-per-views advances on to the second round. And we do need to say points.
You about failed that test. I was testing. I was waiting for you, and I was like, if he doesn't say this, I'm going to just ring him right here.
Don't know if he was thinking about that,
but I was going to see if he said it. You did.
Thank you. I honestly am having trouble remembering the round 1 points because of the tag team tournament and stuff that we have going on. Yeah. Okay. Round 1. Yes, round 1. Those who advance to round 2 receive 2 points in the first round.
And that goes towards your overall points in just regular season.
Right.
That's what makes this tournament so special. Is not only do you get bragging rights for winning, but it also can go a long way in earning you up to 14 extra points in the season, which, that 14 points is huge, especially if you miss a pay-per-view or if you just have some bad luck. 14 extra points by winning a tournament, can't beat that.
I know it's helped people before win championships. I know this past year it helped Mike win a championship.
Exactly.
So, very vital.
And who knows where he would have been 14 points less.
Yeah.
I'm definitely sure it would not be first place. I'm pretty sure.
Of course, he's not gaining 14 points on everybody because of
but he's gaining points.
He's gaining at least 5.
Yeah.
Because of the final round.
All right. So now I think we have officially covered round 1.
Yes.
Round 2. Round 2 is actually 2 pay-per-views. And Survivor Series is actually in that one. And again, the pay-per-view names change so much, but Survivor Series November, and then it's one other pay-per-view. I can't remember what it is this year for this season, but it's Survivor Series and one other pay-per-view. Okay. Round 2 is probably the trickiest round to comprehend, and that is because depending on how many people are in the tournament each year, really tells how many buys there are, if any. 16 people are in there, there's no buys. 15, there's 1 buy. 14, there's 2, then 3 and 4. You get the deal. So, it all depends on how many buys, or how many people in the buys. Buys work like this. Since you get a buy, for those of you who don't know what a buy is, I didn't until we started this tournament. A buy is when you get a free pass for 1 round. Round 1, you get a buy.
Yeah, which means you don't face anybody.
Yeah, you get a free pass. So the catch is, you're like, well, what about those 2 points? Don't they get 2 points? No, you do not automatically get those points just for getting a buy. That's too easy. We don't
work like that around here.
We don't give free passes.
There's no such thing as free points.
Yeah, we don't. What does this look like? The NBA? We don't give free throws. Okay.
Speaking of free throws, Boston said. We'll talk about that later. But anyway.
You're dead to me.
Go ahead, baby.
You're dead to me. Basically, how it works is, if you get a bye and you go straight to round 2, then what you have to do is, everybody who advances in round 1 will get 2 points. Okay? Round 2, if you advance, you get 3 points. If you win 2 pay-per-view, or you win enough points in 2 pay-per-views to beat your challenger, you get 3 extra points. Now, if you're a bye getter, not only will you get those 3 points that you just earned, but you will get the 2 points from round 1. Right. But you only get those 2 points if you win. If you don't win, you go home with 0 points. So yeah, you get a bye, yay! You get to skip round 1, but you got to put up or shut up in round 2. That's kind of the catch.
Right.
To buys.
And we've had a lot of times too in the past where people who get buys end up losing in round 2. Probably at least 50% of the time.
I don't think it was this past tournament, but I think the year before that was it, where everybody who got a bye lost.
Yeah, it was. It may not have been this
And
past year,
yeah, I
but
think
it
it
was
was.
year
I
before.
think it was
Yeah,
the
it
tournament
was.
before. Yeah.
Mhm.
And so you really have to earn it. Like you don't just luck. You may luck into the bye, but you gotta earn those points you
You
get.
gotta earn your
I
way
mean
out.
that's 5 points. You either get 5 points or nothing if you get a
Mhm.
bye. So sometimes you wonder, is a bye really a good thing?
Yeah, I mean, I think it personally
Yeah,
is.
it is,
Because,
but-
you know, if you get a bye, you only have to win one pay-per-view, you get 5 points. If you don't get a bye, you have to win two rounds to get 5 points. So, you know, I'd rather win one round and get 5 than 2 rounds and get 5.
Yeah.
But it's still, you still have to earn your keep around here.
You do.
You have to earn your keep.
See, I think that's it. Yeah.
For round
there's
two, yeah.
There's 2 pay-per-views. You get 3 points, 5 if you got a bye, or if you win. If you lose, you get 0. I think that's basically it. So on to round 3.
Let's talk about, do we have a tiebreaker now for round 2? Because remember, used to we did, but I don't know, we may have lost that.
Yeah.
I want to say we might have.
Yeah, I think there's one round that still has. Well, I know round 4 does. Well, round 3 to 4 has it.
Yeah,
I'm not sure
I
about.
wanna say
I'm not
it's
sure
round
about
2.
rounds 1 and 2. Like I want to say that they did, but we've lost pay-per-views and they've changed them around. So it's basically, honestly, by the time this video comes out, it could be outdated again. But basically, again, how we'll handle the ties. If there isn't a pay-per-view in between the rounds, we'll go to the tiebreakers.
Yeah.
So same thing for the season, pretty much.
Right.
But round 3.
All right, let's move on to round 3. Get down to the nitty gritty here. In round 3, there's only down to the final 4. Down to the final 4 here, and it's one pay-per-view, so it's put up or shut up. There's no second chances here once you get down to round 3, and that pay-per-view is the Royal Rumble. And you know, there's not that many matches there, and so you really have to be on your game in order to advance to WrestleMania for the Ultimate Showdown to be claimed Keaton Invitational champion. And like I said, it's one pay-per-view, and if there is a tie, then we move on to the next pay-per-view after that, which is Hell in a Cell, I think now?
No,
Or
it is Elimination.
Elimination Chamber. Elimination Chamber. It is broken there. That's pretty much it for round 3. Let's move on. Oh, well, round 3, we do need to say points.
Yeah.
We need to say points. Did we mention points for round 2? I think we did with 3.
We did.
Yeah, 2, 3. 2 points for round 1, 3 points for round 2, 4 points for round 3 at the Royal Rumble if you get the win. So that's 9 points so far.
Exactly. Now round 4 is the granddaddy of them all. Literally it is.
It's the showdown.
It's the end. It's when you got to basically you got one person you're going against, and it's at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
The biggest pay-per-view of the year, not only tournament but also season-wise. That's when we said this played out 4 times now. Say it with me, Brian. It's when you put up or shut up. Round 4. It is. You've come. I don't know how many months long this pay-per-view is, but you basically are going down to the end, and it's worth 5 points. Which, if you win, that gives you a total of 14 points. And again, like we said, that's huge in terms of the 10 count overall points.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like Brian said, you may not always get 14 points over everyone, but you are getting 14 points, and every little point matters. If you look at the standings, every single point matters.
Oh yeah.
But that's basically the Keaton Invitational tournament in a nutshell. Again, things will change depending on how many people are in there. And only that really changes how many buys there are, and basically the matchups. Like, you're better at explaining matchups, but like if there's 16 people, it'll be 1 and
16.
And and that's all that matters, and that's all that changes is basically what seeds go against each other. Is basically all that changes. The points stay the same. Pay-per-views stay the same. There's always 3 pay-per-views in round 1, 2 in round 2, 1 in round 3, and 1 in round 4.
Yeah. And as long as we have at least 9 people to 16 people here in the 10 count, it'll always be 4 rounds. If we get less than 9, it'll go down to 3 rounds. If we get more than 16, then we'll either the top 16 will advance, or we'll have to create another round, possibly, just depending on what happens. But as of right now, you know, we're in a good position. We're hanging around 12 or 13, and we should be at 4 rounds for quite a few more years, probably, to come.
Now, hopefully, this video answered your question, because a lot of you did ask, like, hey, I'm still not completely understanding the tournament system. And we understand that it's a bit daunting just to read it in our notes, and I wrote them, so,
yeah.
And I'm still a little confused. But once you get past the buys and the points, I think most of it's pretty self-explanatory. I think that's it, man.
Yeah, I think that's it. You know, it was fun. Hopefully you learned more about the Keaton Invitational Tournament, and hopefully you're not confused anymore. If you are, definitely ask us questions if you have any concerns, and we'll be happy to answer your questions. And I think that's all, and we will see you at Keaton Invitational Tournament number 4 that starts at the biggest party of the summer, SummerSlam. We will see you then.
So thanks for all your support with 10 Count. Appreciate you taking with us. You know, figuratively speaking, not literally, because he can't take jokes.
No,
like the Miami Heat. See what I did there? The jokes, because they're big jokes.
If I remember correctly, they are winning the NBA Finals 2 games to 1.
Oh, see, now you had to go and date this.
Now you had to go and date
this video. Alright. Well, thanks guys for watching. Hope we answered your questions. And like Brian said,
we'll see you at SummerSlam. Good luck. See you then.